All right, what's up, everyone? We are going to talk West Texas lakes. Now, why am I bringing up West Texas lakes? I'm not even from West Texas. I'm from the East Texas. We're going to talk possibly about the golden era of fishing. There was a time, there was a 5 to 8 year period where it was some of the most unreal fishing you've ever seen in West Texas. Now, why are we talking about this? I made a video the other day about the best places to fish in Texas, like the best lakes. What I consider the best lakes. Now, they were kind of like, did it depend on, were you just talking about bass fishing or fishing overall or all these things? And I kind of included a lot of different things in my opinion. Could go over and over about those opinions, whether it be just not bass fishing, overall, other kinds of fishing, where the lakes are located, how easy they are to get to, how easy they are to fish. Are they big? Are they populated? Do you have a lot of company? Like a lot of things went in there. Are there towns nearby? I don't want Dallas nearby, but are there some towns nearby where you can stay? Is it easy? Is it safe? Things like that. And I concluded it was fairly easy. Rayburn was on that list. And I mentioned some big lakes, but the amount of small lakes, and these small lakes are very close to these big lakes. So you have a lot of options, right? So that's the thing. It's a weird thing I'm about to say, but like a lake that's really, really awesome. And then you have like two small lakes that are like within 20 minutes of that big lake. Makes those small lakes really good because you're like, hey, I could fish this. If I ever wanted to fish this big lake, even better. Man, I hit a nerve with someone. And man, he started writing back and he was all over the place. He was mad because he was like, what about this? You just dogged on the West Texas lakes. And I remember, I'm not going to go back and watch my video because I remember what I said for the most part. I'm not going to quote myself. But I was like, man, for a while, it was no doubt. The lakes in West Texas, Amistad, Falcon, those were the main two. Were the two best lakes in the country for a while. Like, hands down. Now, I liked Amistad more than Falcon. Falcon was probably better, but Amistad in the overall of what I thought was awesome, like Amistad was just beautiful. One of the prettiest lakes I've ever been to. The water, like, I don't know how else to explain this. I don't know if I'm the only one. When you walked out on the dock on Amistad, the water was so clear. And you could see the bottom in 15, 20 foot. You can see the deeper than that, but I'm saying right there at the boat ramp and the boat dock. It almost felt like you could just walk off the boat dock. And oh, I'm just going to hit this great. It was just a weird, eerie feeling of how pretty it was and how clear. And it's like you could almost just walk on water because it felt like you were going to just step on the ground right there. And so that lake to me, Amistad was just the landscape was pretty. I liked the Del Rio. Everywhere in Del Rio was awesome. Staying there was awesome. It was really easy to stay, and I always felt safe on Amistad. Falcon was there was some sketchy stuff going on at Falcon, but Amistad always felt safe, really awesome. Tons of fish, but the water clarity made it so different. It was so pretty, and it was just so unique. And you could do a lot of different things. You could fish grass, you could fish trees, you could fish bluffs. Falcon really didn't have that. Falcon had giants, but it was all trees. There was almost no grass, none of that rock. Amistad had it all. So, anyways, I talked about those lakes, and I was like, whatever. They were good. They were phenomenal. They're not like that anymore. I'm not saying they're not good lakes. I'm saying from what they were was just unreal. So he got mad about that. He brought up O.H. Ivy, and I was like, no one even heard of O.H. Ivy until a couple years ago. No one knew about O.H. Ivy. O.H. Ivy wasn't on the top 100 lakes ever. And there's a reason for that. Just like there's a reason for all West Texas lakes. They all have one downfall. And I said this in the video. Their only downfall is this. It don't rain out there. It doesn't rain. And those lakes start to drop. And they drop. And I don't even know what Amistad is. You want to go look? Hold on. I'll look. Look. Deep dive app. Right? Here's my deep dive app. Amistad, as of today, is 60 feet low. 60.78 feet low. 60. Okay? I just want y'all to be aware of how much that is. Okay? Let's go to Falcon. Falcon, 47 feet low. Okay? So Falcon, 47 feet low. Let's go to Choke Canyon. Choke Canyon, 39 feet low. Now he brought up O.H. Ivy. O.H. Ivy is only 18 foot low. Like I said, he got mad at some things, and I said, hey, he got mad because he said, you dumped on West Texas. I'm like, no, I didn't. I said it was phenomenal. I said the reason I wouldn't rank them as the top lakes to fish, because what's going to happen is this, and I look at that as right now, Amistad's not a top 30 lake in Texas. Number one in the country at one point in time. It's not even in the top 30. Choke Canyon might be top 10 lake in the state, maybe top 3. The reason is because you can't load on the lake. You can't even put your boat on the lake. I saw there were some pictures of some guys trying to put a boat on there, and they were like, the water was coming in their doors of their vehicle. That's how far back they had to, like there was one place to load and it was sketchy. You don't hardly hear anything about Falcon. Can you go catch 10 pounders at Falcon right now? Yes. And it's probably all by the dam. Like you have to go down to there's a little bit of water there. And we don't know if we're going to get water there again for a long time, because it's going to happen to Amistad first and then Falcon. It's whether or not they hold that water. There's a whole big thing about but basically the only way those two places are going to fill up is from hurricanes, tropical depressions and hurricanes. That's like the number one way for that. It's got to come over there, and it's got to just go up that section of the Rio, and just either on the Mexico side or I think it's more on the Mexico side of the mountains, and dump all that rain, and it all goes down in there. And that happens maybe once every 10 or 15, 20. I mean, it's going to take a while. It did it, back in the mid 2000s, around 2005 and 7 or something like that. And then it stayed up for a long time. And then it's just continually dropped. And so the businesses were flourishing out there. There was places to stay. It was going crazy. And now it's not like that anymore. And it hasn't been like that for years. And the fishing's not that great. So I don't know what to tell the guy. Then the guy got mad that I said all it does is it blows out there. And it's just like a desert. Well, listen, I could live out there. If I was like by myself and didn't have much going on, I would live out there. I would figure out how to get a lot of money, and I'd buy I'd buy some stuff out there to go hunt. Shoot, I don't even know if I'd high fence it. And I'd shoot all kinds of stuff out there, right? Nothing out of trees. It'd be all on the ground, because that land is just, it's nasty out there. I mean, it's hard country. And there's not a lot of ponds. There's not a lot of lakes. It's like you got Amistad and Falcon. I've never heard of anything else going on out there. And so I said all that because there's not a lot of cities. There's not a lot of towns. And I'm not saying big cities like Dallas or Houston, but there's not a lot going on out there. Now, if you love to hunt and you can hunt year round and go shoot hogs and you got money and you can buy land and do all that stuff, it's great. If you're a kid and you don't have any of that, there's nothing going on out there. If you don't have all these other things you can go do, you can go dove hunting and stuff, and you can go do, but man, there isn't ponds you can go do. I grew up on Livingston where I could walk the bank. There's all kind of lakes you can walk the bank, ponds, things like that around these areas and these lakes I talk about. Can't go do that on those places. It's not viable. If you're a kid, just start. I'm just telling you, if you go out there, there's not a lot to do out there. There's not a lot of things that make it better. I talk about the lakes being good, but I've never caught a whole bunch of white bass on Amistad or any of those lakes. I guess they got crappie. Like I said, you don't hear about those lakes being, I'm not saying they don't have crappie and stuff and do that, but like you don't hear about people going out there and doing that stuff. So I brought in all that stuff, and he got his feelings hurt. And he kept on trying to argue with me about stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm not. Every time I'd answer his argument, he'd bring up something else. And I'm like, well, look, man, I keep refuting all your stuff. The point is that those lakes are good until it doesn't rain for a long time. And then he brought up OH Ivy, and I'm like, okay, well, OH Ivy has water now. And it is. It's probably the number one lake in the country because it has water. And hopefully it has water. I don't want it to go down. But history shows us that it's dropping. It's why it's 18-foot low. It's not high. It's not high. There's other lakes that are high. It's not high. It's going to start dropping. And it's going to continually drop. Now, it might take 5, 10 years, whatever. And so you're like, oh, what's the big deal? Well, man, if you move there, do something, the next thing you know, you're at this lake that used to be the number one lake in the country, and 10 years later, it's not in the top 30 in its own state. That's why I said Rayburn, hands down number one. Because for the last, I don't know how many years, 30, 40 years, it's still knocking it out. It knocks it out of the park every year. There's almost never a bad time. Ask anybody out there. Wind blows a lot out there, a bunch. I was out on NAC yesterday. The wind started blowing because we had a cold front, but for a while, dead slick. If you watch all my videos, dead slick. You don't get a lot of those days out there. And you're like, well, yeah, but that's it. I'm not making excuse. Like, you can make excuses. I'm just saying the wind blows a lot. It's hard. If that doesn't bother you, blowing 20 miles an hour for 14 days in a row, no big deal. That doesn't happen down here. So I was saying all this because, yes, you're going to have good. Like Okeechobee. Like, look at Okeechobee. Okeechobee was like phenomenal. And they're going through this whole deal with the water fluctuation. I don't know the whole situation at Okeechobee, but it's messing up Okeechobee. One of the best lakes in Florida forever. And now, like, I don't know what's going to happen with it. Rayburn's 9-foot low right now, right? They did most of it 6-foot low to start working on something. It's awesome. And when it fills back up, it's going to be great. When it gets really, really low like this, because 10-foot low, 9-foot, 10-foot lows low, fishing's phenomenal. If it's 10-foot high, fishing's phenomenal. If it's level, it's phenomenal. There's only a couple lakes like that. So like I said, I was bringing up certain things. Those West Texas lakes, if they fill up again, Amistad, Falcon, Choke, they're going to be first, second, and third. And if they filled up to level tomorrow, in 3 years, they'd be first, second, and third in the state, and they're liable to be first, second, and third in the country. If they fill up. But until then, I don't know where they rank. Maybe you go down there, but I think you can go to other lakes and still catch them just as good without having to drive all the way out to West Texas for fishing that you could probably do closer to home. Or say Rayburn wasn't good. Well, that's all right. I'll go 45 minutes to Toledo. Oh, that's not good? Well, how about I go to these other lakes that are really close? There's about 10 of them that are super close to these lakes. You go out to Amistad, I guess the only lake you get to go to is Falcon after that. I don't even know OH Ivy's out there in the middle of, you're going out there just to fish that lake, and you can't just all of a sudden make a call, like a detour, and be like, hey, we're going to change this up. It's not working. That was my take on that in like West Texas. And I love going out to West Texas. Love fishing out there. Dude, I wish we would go out there more. If you look, because he's like, he even told me I didn't know how to fish West Texas. He's like, you don't even know how to fish these lakes. And I'm like, am I really going to have to pull out a resume on this? Am I going to have to show me leading a Toyota event down there by like 7 pounds? And the only reason I lost by 4 ounces because I broke down half the day. Like broke down on the Mexico side, just sitting there, like couldn't move for like 5 hours of the day, and I lost by 4 ounces. Me and Russell, Texas Team Trail, first time we went to the championship, leading the event by quite a bit, broke down. Got to fish like 2 hours the next day. Still came in third. Made a couple top 10s in Toyotas on Amistad. Caught him in the team trail at Falcon. Caught him at, Choke Canyon. I've been to Choke Canyon, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. First time, I think I finished 7th in a Toyota. Texas Team Trail, we finished 5th. And the next year, we finished 3rd. Won the boat. Me and Brent stayed up there to goof around. We fished a Saturday morning event against a whole bunch of locals. Won it. Me and my buddy Kelly went up there before Toyota at Amistad. I forgot about that. Finished 2nd in a team event up there with all locals. Just showed up and fished it. A couple days before Toyota, came in 2nd. Over 100 people fished. Right? I mean, I've never been to OH-Ivy, but I know how good it is. So I know how to fish those lakes. I love them. Like I said, I love Choke Canyon. I'd go to Choke Canyon right now if I could load my boat. I'd go to OH-Ivy right now, except it's a long ways away, and I'm still catching pretty good bags right here back home. Like I said, I'd go to Amistad, but I don't think I can catch a 20-pound bag because I haven't heard of a 20-pound bag in a couple years. I'm sure they have, but what I'm saying is it's not like it used to. 20-pound bags at Amistad, back in the day, a 20-pound bag at Amistad when it was good would land you at about 73rd place. At Falcon, it would be about 103rd. So, just listen to what I was saying and explaining. I wasn't dogging your lakes out there, but they do have some problems. And water's the main one, which is a pretty big problem. All right. Hope this clears things up. See y'all.